Hi everybody, it's Gerard from GH Immigration Services again. I would like to have a little bit of a talk to you. Let's talk about, on a previous video I was talking about a plan. Well, let's expand on that a little bit more. Let us come up with another plan, something that might just help you along the way. A new type of strategy, a strategy to get you into Canada for education, but also a strategy towards a permanent residency. Now, there's nothing illegal about it or whatever. This is not a plan to try to get around the immigration system. It's just another way of trying to get the opportunity that you are trying to attain by coming to Canada. So anyways, let us say beyond the normal education process of 1 year, or plus 1 year or plus, okay, like staying in Canada, coming to Canada in education for a degree. So 1 to 4 years, degree or diplomas, whatever program that you're looking at. Now let's look at something a little bit different. Let's look at a short-term program. Let's look at a program of under 6 months. Now you wonder, how does that benefit me? A program of under 6 months. Well, for one thing is you don't need a student. You don't need a student visa for a program under 6 months of length of period of time. You can do this on a visitor's visa or a temporary resident permit. What you would do is, and what kind of courses would you take on that? Well, there's multiple courses, or this is just ideas that toss around. You can come here, you can apply to a school. You can say, okay, I'm going to apply for a visitor's visa. While I'm on a visitor's visa, I'd like to stay for 6 months. It gives me a chance to see the country. It gives me a chance to see the area that I want to live in, to understand the Canadian way of life and things like that. That's one of the options, one of the things that the pluses of doing something like this. And the cost. Now, instead of a 1 year education that's going to cost you $30,000, you now have an education that'll probably cost you anywhere between 10 to 15, probably even less than that, probably somewhere around the 10 to 12 mark, somewhere in that area. So the goods and bads, well, one of the good things about it is that you're just taking a short-term course. You're taking one course. It could be an English course, it could be a French course. Like an English course to improve your English, get your skills up, and so on and so forth. French course, you can start touching on French to try to become bilingual and getting the extra points when it comes to your CRS scores, or falling under the Francophone mobility program or whatever, because you can improve your skills when it comes to that and you get the extra points. That's one thing. You can also, if you are, say, a tradesman, you can come and take a course that helps you to improve the skill in your trade, an area that you don't have, or an area that your country doesn't offer. And one of the big things here is this is just when it comes to electricians, it's very, very different in Canada because we have so many different we run on different voltages, and just having a course upgrade and getting a little bit more knowledge in that also gives you the opportunity. So finding a school that has a 6 month course, apply for the 6 month course, apply for your visitor's visa. All they have to do is immigration just has to believe that you're only in here for 6 months and doing this short-term course. That's the whole idea. Okay, you're coming for an education. You're coming for a basic, small education. You don't have to have a student visa. You come on a visitor's visa or some other short-term visa, and you do an education course while you're here, and you leave within your 6 months. But there's also, it opens some options for you at the same time. Now, while you're on that 6 month course, you do actually have the opportunity to change your status. You can change your status to student if you decide you want to stay here. So you can apply to an institution, one of the educational institutions, and decide to change your study as well once you finish the 6 month course, and then carry on to a new study. That's one option as well. That gives you another option. Once you see if you can afford to stay here, and that is one option. You can also try to find an employer. If, say, you're a tradesperson for where you come from and you have 3 or 4 years experience, you come over here taking an English course to better yourself, or a French course to improve your French, or whatever case it happens to be. If you can find an employer that will employ you under an LMIA, then you can apply for an LMIA and a change of status under that program. So there gives you another option that is not extremely costly. It doesn't lock you into a long period of time. It's a simpler option, but it's an option. It does not require $30,000 a year to get you here. It doesn't require you're going to have to show things that you're going to come and leave and so on and so forth under a visa. And yes, you have the same risk of refusal as you do for a student visa or any other program. It doesn't make a difference. But if you can show and prove that you are generally coming here for short term and that you're going to take a short term program, you can do that and don't need a student's visa to do it, and at a much cheaper rate to be able to do this education. And then, yes, of course, if you decide you want to change over to regular education, you're going to have all the other things to deal with when it comes to regular international paying student fees and so on and so forth. But this is an option that you have or should or could consider. Anyways, I just wanted to put that up. Now this also, you got to remember, this can also work for individuals that are not looking like like professionals. You don't have to be 21 or 22 or 23 years of age to be able to look at this. There's no law that says you can't come to Canada to school to upgrade your education at 40 years old. I've been back to school 4 times in my lifetime when it comes to education. So it does not make a difference how old you are when it comes to that, and you can't get refused based on age. It's as long as it's realistic. If you're 60 years old, like I am, and if you're 60 years old and you're in Canada and and you're already in Canada as a Canadian citizen, you want to do another education program, that's cool. Then there's no problem there. But as an international individual, that may become questionable. So getting that 6-month course, that approval to come for 6 months and that for a short-term course, that may be more difficult to attain. But if you're 40, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't do this. So that would work the same for you. So if you're working in a trade or in a highly skilled individual, you are an engineer or some kind of medical field or something that's in your country, and you decide you want to come here and do some kind of an upgrade, even like same thing, English or French, or just study something that's in your field just to get a little bit, a short-term course in your field, do the same thing. And you can try the same process. You can either stay here, do an extended stay under a new one of the designated learning institutes here in Canada. You can do that if you want and change your status that way. Or else you can see if there's somebody here that will give you a job under an LMIA. And most LMIAs are 1 or 2 years in length. And that is a step to permanent residency. So this is another option you can consider. And that it's completely legal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different option. It's something that people don't think about. They always think about how I can get the long term or how I can do the maximum of everything. But you got to remember, there's things to remember. On a 6-month course, there's no post-grad work permit. That's 6 months. At the end of your 6 months, you go home. So the thing about it is you come here, you don't waste your time. You come here, you start your course. If you want to try to stay here, then you start looking around right away, applying. Because if you're in Canada, it's way easier to find a company that will hire you than it is if you're not in Canada. So if you're already here, even if you're on a course in here and you approach somebody about an LMIA or hiring you or giving you a letter of acceptance or job offer, whatever the case is, and you're here in Canada, boy, that changes everything dramatically and gives you so much more option. So anyways, this is something just to think about. So I just wanted to say that, and anyways, I just wanted to tell you that and let you all have a good day and think about the future. So have a good one, take care, and I hope you find this informative and important, and if you want, get in contact with me as well. You'll see, my credentials are there for you to be able to get in touch with me, or else if there's a Canadian Immigration Utility app that's available through my company, GH Immigration, you can download that. It has lots of information on it, updates on all the programs and what's going on in immigration. I put on that app as well. Anyways, thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourself, and all the best.